everybody. Welcome to another Parent Pivot podcast. I am one of your hosts. I'm one of your hosts.
And I would be the other host. I'm Julia Cummings, and this is my husband, Steve Cummings.
There we go. I always like to do something different when we open, and I get stuck in my brain and my creativity, and so I mess up. And meanwhile, we're distracted by the many deer playing out there in the backyard and stuff. But we are already at the end of October.
Yes, we are. It's cold.
It's cold and rainy here in Georgia, although guess what? Friday, we are going to have sunshine.
Yeah.
So wherever you are in the country, I hope you're getting better weather than us, but we're definitely in the fall. We walked around the neighborhood this morning, and it's looking very lovely. There's a lot of leaves down in our backyard, which drive me nuts because instead of mowing, I end up blowing. Mm-hmm. Mowing and blowing. They don't care about any of this that we're talking about. So we're here to bring you some more content to help you pivot from being a parent to a partner. And so, sweetheart, what are we talking about today?
A topic that I wanted to bring up today is the idea of not talking to one child about another child. Ooh. Which can be really difficult, and often a habit that starts when your kids are younger.
Right.
So this already may be a habit that you have to then actually think about. So it would be a natural tendency. Let's say you've got a bunch of teenagers, and one teenager is, doing things that you're not happy with, and it would be a natural tendency that just in the grand scheme of your day that you start talking about little Bobby who's driving you crazy to little Mikey. And so suddenly this habit develops of where you're talking about one child to another. That's kind of the negative aspect. As you get into the adult years of your children, it would be, and as your kids kind of separate off from you, perhaps you're visiting one child and adult child, I've got to specify adult child.
Yep.
You're visiting one adult child and you find yourself talking about the other adult child to the one that you're visiting. Now, it may be negative content that you're speaking about. It could be positive content that you're speaking about. To give you an example of the positive,
okay.
I remember when I was younger, my mom talking about her mother, talking about like her mom would come and visit for the day or whatever. And she'd sit around the dining room table and she and my mom would be drinking tea. And my grandma would be talking about my mom's siblings. She'd be saying, oh, did you hear Bill did this? Did you hear Kay did that? Did you hear about this? And it was all positive things. But my mom was feeling, what about me? Right. She was feeling sad. She kind of wished my grandma would just be quiet about Bill and
She's
Kay.
bragging about my siblings, and I'm not hearing anything about me.
Right. I'm not hearing the positive input into my life.
Right.
Sometime later, probably years after she had been dealing with this, she was having a conversation with my aunt and came to find out that when she went to visit my aunt, she did the same thing, only she was talking about Joe too. My mom is Joe. So she found out that this is what her mom did. Whatever child she was with, she was bragging about the other two. And I don't know, I think it's kind of a thing of that generation, maybe, that you don't build your kids up. I don't know, that they don't get big heads, or I'm not sure what that's about.
Right.
But I've heard that in that age group, that was a common factor.
Right.
And I would say that even in our parents' age group, I think anyone who lived through the Depression or World War II kind of has that mindset.
Okay.
So anyway, that would be kind of the positive thing. The negative thing might be, oh, I'm visiting one child and I spend time with them, and perhaps I see something in their relationship with their significant other or in how they're parenting. And I think, oh no, this is a disaster. Blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking in my head, right?
Yep, that's not how we raised our kids, and I can't believe my kids are doing that, or whatever.
Whatever it is.
Yep.
And then again, if this is a habit at all, it would be natural to go visit another child and say, well, did you hear what little Bobby, how he's raising his kids and what he's doing this? I just
The
don't
little
agree
Bobby
with
wouldn't be
this.
raising kids. Robert would be raising little
Yes,
kids.
hopefully
Yeah.
Robert this time.
You get the gist.
Anyway, so those are my thoughts in just guarding your tongue of speaking about one child to another child, positively or negatively.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm hearing is we need to be careful about. I mean, it's always good to celebrate your kids,
Absolutely.
okay, but be mindful of that audience that you're celebrating your kids to. So, like you've just said, you've gone through this whole thing of like, I'm celebrating another child that's not present with a child that I am present with.
Right.
I would say, guess what, folks? Focus on being present. Find the things with that adult child and their grandkids that you love and adore. And then, when you're with the other kids, keep your mouth shut.
Right. Right.
Because it can also create sibling rivalry without, it's kind of like you're lighting a stick of dynamite,
Right.
and it could go off and you don't know what it's going to do. I mean, an adult child could be building resentment toward another adult child, and we don't think we're doing anything wrong, but we're bragging about the adult child that's not with us to the other adult children.
Right. And where that becomes a problem is what I was saying before. If you do not naturally build up your child in front of you, your adult child in front of you, and be praising them for who they are, for any achievement that they have, for the parent that they are, for the spouse that they are, for anything, maybe they're still in college, building that up.
Right.
Because imagine if you're still in college, you haven't even figured out what your major is yet and where you're going in life. But maybe you've got an older sibling who's already got their master's or PhD or is a doctor or is already successful just monetarily. Usually it's
that oldest child, right, that just kind of takes off and
right.
They become, and again, we spoke about this in a previous podcast about having the golden child,
right,
the favorite child. And so you're so enamored with them,
right,
that's another direction. So check that podcast out. We aired that about a month or so ago,
right?
Maybe even a few weeks. I don't know, but
right.
We're talking more about when you're spending time with one of the adult children and things are going on that maybe you see. Don't come back and share that with other adult children.
Right. There's also the idea of, and we went through this where we had to change some things, was the idea of projection. Projecting to the family what even might be going on with mom and dad. So let's say
like you mean us?
Yeah. Like let's say something's going on between us that's nobody's business.
Right.
Or I'm particularly dealing with something and you go to all the kids and project to them. Broadcasting. That's the word I'm looking for.
Because guess what? I'm the one that used to do that. Broadcasting. It's like, oh, hey, make sure that, when mom brings the kids out, I'm trying to prevent the eggshells from happening or the whatever from happening. So I'm going behind the scenes to the kids on how to respond to mom. And I'm trying to make sure that, it doesn't happen again. Why? Because I don't want whatever to have happen. So that's called broadcasting.
You don't want negative feelings. And you can do that with your kids as well. And we still struggle with this. If we think one adult child's going to be hurt by something or feel left out, that we, might go or I don't know, say something.
Well, a lot of times now with our adult kids, it's like, it's not our story to tell. And if someone's going to react negatively, it's like, I don't know what I can do because I don't want to broadcast it. And sometimes there's fallout. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And you need to be there to love and pick up the pieces and not chime in and say, well, they were right or whatever. No one's right or wrong. You want to be there because what would it feel like for you, excuse me, for you to be in that situation yourself and things. And so just kind of be thinking ahead about people's feelings and be aware. I mean, awareness goes a long way in this world in so many instances. Does. It's like, be aware of what you're saying and to whom you're saying it. And do I need to say that?
Right.
Because a lot of times for me, and this is me what I've learned, a lot of times for me, I just have to keep my mouth shut, and just be dad, just be pop. And, and not try to worry about how things are going to play out. Let them play out. Your kids are adults. They will get their feelings hurt. They're going to work it out themselves. We don't need to play referee. We don't need to soften it. We don't need to manipulate it. We don't need to broadcast anything. Just sit back and keep your mouth shut and the welcome mat out.
And so much easier said than done.
Yes. Yes, it is, because we've gone through that. We've had to sit there and think about this and going, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's exactly where we are, and we've had to practice that ourselves.
Yeah, well, you even had a conversation in the last week with a couple of our kids, like, is this going to be a problem?
Right.
You know,
Right.
About a particular thing that we were talking about. And yeah.
I was just trying to be super sensitive to it, and I didn't want to manipulate it, and I just presented it in a way that was positive for both of them, and they both went, yeah, we can do that. I'm like, okay. They've come a long way. Again, I'm giving them the room to grow and not be who they were as either kids or teenagers or young adults and things. And that was kind of fun to see, like going, wow, we've reached that point, and that's awesome. So that's why that goes back to some of our podcasts where we have said, hey, give your kids room to grow, give them the grace, believe the best about them. They're growing into mature adults, and we don't always get to see that every day.
Right.
Their spouses do. So give them the benefit of the doubt, let them grow, and those things will happen. And I'm like going, that's awesome. We don't have to deal with that anymore.
It's also giving you room to grow, though.
Exactly.
Right? Like, it's where maybe we would try to soften something or manipulate something to make everybody feel better. It gives us the opportunity to not feel that pressure. You know, I have to say this, though, that as mom, that's always just really hard to do. I can only speak as mom. Just, we want all of our ducklings happy. And there's that saying that you're only as happy as your least happy child. And that's
us
really
dads
hard.
are only as happy as mama's happy. So
Yes,
guess what?
That's very true.
If mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Right. So it's a balancing act, and it's figuring out, again, it's one of those things, and we talked about this, you know, in the last couple of podcasts, I think, of just sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. So again, there's got to be some self-reflection there of, am I doing this? And is this something I do? And maybe you need to ask your spouse, do I do this?
Yeah, that would be the best thing. And be prepared to just be, you know, don't get hurt by that, because we have to work together as mom and dad and Pop and Juju for our as we, you know, our legacy is unfolding before our very eyes, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
You know, it's either going to go in a positive direction or negative direction or somewhere in between. And so be each other's best friends and listen to each other's hearts and be able to receive that, because we can see each other's blind spots, but we don't necessarily want to admit that.
Right. And it's not even about her being hurt, because we know the heart behind it. So we know that if it is something you do, it's probably because of how much you care and love your adult children. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing. So we have to work.
Yep. What else?
That's all I got.
No, this is a short one, you guys.
Very short topic tonight to just kind of blurt that out, get you thinking about it, and hopefully get you working on it and not doing it.
Yeah. So as you listen to the podcast, as you see it being helpful to yourself and others, we're here. We don't make a single dime or penny or shilling or whatever.
Ruble or
nothing. Zero. And we love that, because we want this to be ministry to y'all. And if you've got a church, in fact, we have an appointment in January where we're going to go do a parent conference or parent thing.
It's a one-day seminar thing, question and answer.
Somebody approached us and said, hey, would you guys be willing to come to our church and do this? And we're like, sure. So if you've got that going on at your church, anywhere in the country, and you can help get us there and whatever, be part of a parenting conference or whatever, we would love to do that. We'll put our contact information. You can email us at parentpivotpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to put a plug in for if anybody wants to talk to you about their adult kids?
If anyone wants to talk to me about adult kids or any other issue you have, if you are specifically a woman, I would love to meet with you if you wanted to, as a counselor. So we can do that virtually if that is something you're interested in. So you could reach out to
And we'll
me
put
about
that
that.
information in the show notes as well. Because,
Yeah.
as you listen to these podcasts, hopefully you hear our hearts. Hopefully there's a connection there to going, hey, these people, we're both board certified pastoral counselors in the state of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So we are certified to be able to counsel across state lines.
Right.
And so that's where we can do a lot of things virtually. And so a lot of counselors can't do that because they're bound by state law to only counsel within their state. But we can do this across state lines, and it's legal. But anyway, we'd love to spend more time with you. Obviously, our book is at Amazon. Y'all know about that. I have no idea how it's doing, but if you have bought one of those books and you can go back to Amazon and write a review or just review it for us, that would be awesome, as well as the podcast and giving us a review on the podcast. We would love that too.
Yeah. If we've meant anything to you, please
Yes.
do a 5-star and a review and whatever. It helps us move up in the line if that happens. So that's helpful for the podcast to be broader and more people to hear.
And when we come back to next week, we were going to be in November, which Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. It kind of gets overlooked. It's like Halloween happens, and then, in fact, Christmas decorations are already in Home Depot. I took Florence there the other day. We had a little pop adventure. We went and got breakfast at Starbucks, and we went and played the playground at Chick-fil-A. I took her through the car wash of my truck. She'd never been to a car wash before, and we just kept on going. We ended up at Home Depot, and we got to see Mickey and Minnie, and they moved and said things. And I'm going, it is not even Halloween yet.
Lots of
and Christmas decorations are out. Whatever happened to Thanksgiving?
Okay, soapbox. I'm
on my soapbox. Yeah. Anyway, all that to say is we want to come back to, maybe we'll come back with a topic on being thankful and things. So we did a re-air last week because we were gone on holiday traditions. So I hope you all listen to that, and if you haven't, go back to listen to last week's podcast, because as you get an in-law child into your family, things change. Yeah. And we talk about not putting your foot down and trying to, keep all the same traditions you have. We want you to be flexible and let them make decisions on what their holidays look like, so that you can then change your traditions to something new and things like that. So anyway, that's all we have for this edition of the Parent Pivot Podcast. We'll be back next week as we start November, and we will see you on the next edition of the Parent Pivot Podcast.
Bye.